I'm excited to introduce our new free and open source product, AppMap. AppMap is an interactive code analysis tool that helps developers and their organizations meet their goals for maintainable, high-quality software. Why is the product called AppMap? Today, thanks to the advancement of technology, people never take a trip without a Google map. It's an interactive robotic assistant that guides us and allows us to explore our world more freely and confidently. Like Google Maps, AppMap drives the back roads of your application and records everything turn by turn, just like those Google camera cars. We call this technique interactive code analysis, and it helps you navigate software projects of any size more confidently. Using AppMap frees up more of your mental energy to write good, clean code, and it helps your team deliver the best quality software. Using interactive code analysis, AppMap creates beautiful dependency maps, execution traces, and service and schema catalogs. It does this automatically right where you work. And the larger the code base, the better it works. The starting point for work on any new feature or bug fix is the dependency map. This is your big picture view. You can see all the components that are relevant to what you're working on and how they're connected. Search and navigate through web services, code libraries, external services, and SQL, all in the context of a specific feature. Then get immediate visual feedback on how your code changes affect the big picture. AppMap has great support for SQL. High-quality software has good performance, and slow queries can be a major contributor to bad performance. When developers can see queries right alongside the code, they can be optimized so they impact performance in production. Of course, because we're in a code editor, source code is always available. Just click View Source to go right to the source line for any node in the diagram. Going beyond code discovery and navigation, AppMap has dedicated features for improving code quality. The first of these is labels. Labels enable us to identify key functions in the source code and understand what the most critical code does. I'm showing you an open source e-commerce app that has over 23,000 commits in its history. Labels help us find and review key aspects of this code's design, even in large applications. So far, we've seen how AppMap records the current state or how my application is. But just like Google Maps, AppMaps have a central service that is constantly learning. That central service is called AppLand. AppLand is a hosted service that collects, aggregates, and analyzes app maps to get even deeper insights into your code's architecture. It even records a history of how your software's design has evolved across releases by looking back and following the code forward in time. It's been battle tested on projects with up to 1 million lines of code each. Let's step through an example of how AppLand makes AppMaps even more powerful. As I mentioned before, interactive code analysis can help you identify security, performance, maintainability, and logic errors that lead to functional problems. Earlier this week, GitHub disclosed a security vulnerability related to the authentication of users. GitHub deeply knows code and has an elite team of engineers. If it can happen to them, it can happen to anyone. Changing authentication and authorization code within an app is high risk because mistakes can lead to data breaches, security disclosures, and reputational damage. Suppose I'm changing a feature in this e-commerce app. Here's my code editor with a change in progress, and I'm working with code that creates a new user. I've noticed that the assignment of roles and permissions to this user happens twice. As a developer, this immediately catches my attention. It runs counter to the software best practice called don't repeat yourself or dry. In this case, there shouldn't be two functions in the code that both assign the user permissions I'm working with. I think I know what to do. I make my change and run the tests. You see from the source code diff that one line has been removed, but you can't see from the source code what that change actually does. AppMap mode in my code editor, I can compare the local app maps to the latest production version stored in the central AppLand server. I can see what's been added, removed, or changed in the actual code's behavior. In this case, my code has introduced an important difference in design. A necessary SQL delete statement has been removed. My improvement has actually caused a nasty and unexpected side effect. If you examine this issue, my change allows unauthorized users to execute a privilege escalation attack. Low-level admins can now accidentally make themselves super admins of the entire site and even ransom it. My AppMap is the earliest warning for this issue in the development process. Obviously, I need to revert to the approved design before I check in my code. All of this would have been invisible to me for my test cases, from profiling, static code analysis, and performance testing. Fortunately, no one works alone. For teams, app maps are automatically generated with any code execution, test case, or CI/CD run, and are automatically versioned and stored in AppLand. That means a code reviewer can see the same information stored in AppLand that I see in my editor. So even if I didn't catch this flaw, and someone else can spot the problem and send the code back to be fixed, because app maps make this problem evident. Also, because AppLand has an API, we can use the data to create automated scanning scripts that perform the same function as the code reviewer. AppLand scans look for good design patterns that we want and flag bad patterns that need extra review before merging. If necessary, AppLand can even block the release. We will be hosting an interactive event for developers on scanning for design flaws, so follow us on Twitter or LinkedIn for more details. To recap, AppLand's central platform, development teams now have 3 chances to catch changes that might have significant adverse effects. First, in the local dev environment with diagrams and tools that make issues prominent. Second, during code review by sharing and reviewing app maps as part of the pull request review process. And third, in CI/CD, where risky or unapproved or unexpected changes can be configured to break the build. The overall result is a better understanding of software design, smooth and powerful collaboration, and intelligent tooling to help developers improve quality while delivering faster. And that leads to happy customers for the business. AppMap is free, open source, and available now for Ruby, Java, and Python. AppLand, the central service, is in beta, and access is available upon request. So check out AppMap in the VS Code Marketplace today. To learn more about our roadmap and upcoming language support, including JavaScript, .NET, and PHP, please join our community on Discord. To find the link for our educational events or to schedule a demo, go to appland.com. Thanks so much for your time, and I look forward to your questions.